On Acoustic Tuesday, episode number 65, you're going to learn about a bass player that's doing something that I always thought was impossible. We're going to hear from our friend Matt, who's going to shed some light on bracing material, Sitka spruce versus Adirondack spruce, and I'm going to show you how to play artificial harmonics in mere minutes so you can play Tommy Emmanuel's version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. All that and more right after this. If you believe that playing acoustic guitar is about sharing the joy of music with friends and family, not just mastering the technical side of playing, then this show is your dream come true. Every Tuesday morning, I give you my list of exciting guitar geek discoveries, gear, and new music so you can stay inspired to live your best acoustic life. I'm Tony Polecastro, and this is the Acoustic Tuesday Show. Guitar geeks, unite. Welcome to Acoustic Tuesday, episode number 65. This is the show where you're going to learn about acoustic guitar gear, discover acoustic artists, and get inspired to live your very best acoustic life. As with all episodes of Acoustic Tuesday, I'm going to share with you my guitar geek list for the week. And this week, I think I've hit every single piece that's necessary of the guitar geek list. We've got gear, we've got instruction, we're going to hear from Matt, and I've got some extra special surprises as well. And my first surprise to you is introducing you to the man, the myth, the legend. Ladies and gentlemen, Freddie Mercury is here guest hosting with me.
Does that work? Does that work? That was dumb. I'm sorry.
You've been practicing your moves.
No.
You really found it.
Well, it seems to be all we've been talking about lately.
So in complete transparency, this is about our fifth time trying to record this show today. I think Noah and I are just shaking all the bugs out, and we've got it now. This is going to be our chance. This is going to be our time to shine. This one here.
Yeah, I can feel it. And I just want to say good morning to you, Tony, and good morning to, whatever I just said, to Acoustic Tuesday viewers out there joining us.
Indeed. I like your coffee mug there.
Oh, you noticed. Yes.
It's kind of hard not to, where you're like, I just want to say, you're like this. You're just like, I just want to say good morning to everybody.
Good morning to everybody. Good morning. Now, yes, I got my new Rush Starman mug, and I love it. Now, I wish it was a little bit bigger, but what makes up for it is that it's lefty or righty.
That's solid.
Yeah, because sometimes you get the ones you like, and it's only like lefty.
It's a left-handed one.
Yeah, exactly.
And one of the things I've noticed in regards to mugs, left-handed mugs don't feel as stable. Maybe because I'm not left-handed, you know? But sometimes the graphic's only on that side. This Martin mug here is also a dual purpose. It's an ambidextrous mug.
That's good.
Shall we?
We shall. Why not?
Well, I'm excited to dig in today because I've got a ton of stuff on deck, as I mentioned before. And the first thing that I want to share with you is how to play artificial harmonics. I'm actually going to show you how to do them. There's a 3-step formula that you must know to play artificial harmonics. And we're going to go through that today, right here, right now on Acoustic Tuesday. But first, actually the first step in playing artificial harmonics is figuring out what the hell they are in the first place. So I've selected the best possible example of artificial harmonics I think that exists in the acoustic guitar world, and that is Tommy Emmanuel playing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So let's have a quick look at that, look and listen, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how to do that. So that's probably, I think, again, as I mentioned, the best example of artificial harmonics that is out there. Just a great example. Now, artificial harmonics, it's kind of a funky term. So let's talk about harmonics in the first place. Okay, so harmonics are naturally occurring nodes on a vibrating string. We've got them at the 12th fret, we've got them at the 7th fret, and we got them at the 5th fret, hopefully. Kinda. They're harder to hit at the 5th fret. Anyways, I digress. The 12th fret is the most common place for just a standard harmonic, right? It's that nice bell-like tone. You don't have to fret the string, you just hold the string, okay? So artificial harmonics, what's the deal with those? Well, artificial harmonics, we're essentially hitting harmonics in places where they don't normally occur in accordance to our fretting hand. So being that we're going to actually be using our fretting hand for this technique, we can't actually hold the harmonics with our fretting hand. So we have to learn how to do harmonics with just one hand. So that's step 2, right? We've defined what the artificial harmonic is. Now we have to figure out the technique. That's what step 2 is dedicated to, the technique of playing an artificial harmonic. So you're going to need to essentially have your picking hand. You're going to pretend like you have a toy gun, right? Your index finger is actually going to touch the harmonic on the string, and your thumb is going to reach under and pluck the string. So it's all going to be done from one hand. So all I'm doing with my fretting hand here is just supporting the guitar neck. I'm not fretting anything yet. So we're going to do this on the 12th fret. Your index finger is just going to touch right above the 12th fret on the low E string. You're not pressing the string down. You're not fretting it. You're just touching it. And then below, once you've touched that low E string right above the 12th fret, you're going to use your thumb to actually pluck the string. Right? And then you can do that for the A string, D, G, B, high E. Now, I will have you know, I'm plugged in so you can hear these with a little bit more volume, and I'm going to share with you what I'm plugged into at the end of the show. But I digress. I wanted to let you know, just if you're like, instead, I didn't want you sitting there thinking like, man, Tony's guitar is really loud. It's actually plugged in. So don't worry about that. I just wanted to make sure that you knew. So again, that technique, we're just touching the string, reaching under with our thumb, and plucking that harmonic. So that's the technique, right? Step 3 is understanding the equation. So we're going to fret a G chord for this example, just a simple G chord, 3rd fret of both the low and high E strings, and then 2nd fret of the A string. Just a nice G chord, okay? And the equation is this. I want you to look at the relationship of your fretting fingers to the nut of your guitar, okay? And now I want you to imagine your 12th fret as the nut of your guitar. So to hit the artificial harmonics, if I look at the low E string, I'm going to say, okay, I'm 3 frets in front of the nut, so I must hit that artificial harmonic 3 frets in front of the 12th fret. So I'll go 1, 2, 3. This is above the 15th fret. Nice, cool harmonic there. On the A string, I'm 2 frets in front of the nut, so I'll go 2 frets in front of the 12th fret. Hit a nice harmonic there. The D, G, and B strings are all open, so I'll stay on the 12th fret for those. And then I am 3 frets in front of the nut on the high E string, so I'll go 3 frets in front of the 12th fret on the high E. Some nice, beautiful artificial harmonics. You can actually play the whole chord, string by string. And you can do that with any chord. You could do that for an E minor, for example. Just look at those fretted notes and say, okay, for the A and the D string, I'm 2 frets in front of the 12th fret. Everything else is open, so you can go ahead and use that equation to play that artificial harmonic chord. Whoops. And like I said, you can do that for any chord, the C chord, or even scales or anything like that. Just note, remember, what's crucial is you understand how to do the technique, right? So practice the technique first. Then start integrating the fretting hand, and just know that, okay, however many frets in front of the nut you are, that's what you're going to mimic in front of the 12th fret. And boom, you got yourself a recipe for artificial harmonics. Now, I by no means am a master at this technique, but it's one that I've always found extremely fun to experiment with. And it's something that I like to do, you know, when I feel like I'm getting into a guitar rut or something like that. Experimenting with a new technique really helps pull me out of a guitar rut, or more importantly, keep me out of a guitar rut. And if you do not like guitar ruts, I want you to check out Tony's Acoustic Challenge. It's something that gives you something fun to play every single day. Just go to tonysAcousticChallenge.com. You'll be able to learn more about the program and all the nitty-gritty details. And if it sounds like something that resonates with you, I want you to go ahead and request your invite today. Again, that's at tonysAcousticChallenge.com. And of course, if you want to dig more into artificial harmonics, I actually made a specific lesson for artificial harmonics that goes a little bit slower and a little bit more in-depth than I did here today on the show. And you can find that at acousticlife.tv/AT65. It's a really fun technique, and one that I think you'll enjoy and be surprised at, because you'll be like, wow, I'm actually doing this. Take some time, but once you get it, it's like, man, I can actually do those crazy sounds. It's pretty fun. Well, I know when I first saw Tommy Emmanuel play that Somewhere Over the Rainbow, I was like, what? What is even happening? And that was the kind of the catalyst for me to think, okay, I think I can do that technique. So I wanted to share it with all of you today. All right, moving on. Some important Acoustic Tuesday business, and of course, that is Guitar Geek Trivia. And here is your Guitar Geek Trivia question for the day. Percussive fingerstyle trailblazer Michael Hedges was born on New Year's Eve in 1953. In what state was Michael Hedges born? Is it A, North Dakota, B, California, C, Maryland, or D, Oklahoma? Go ahead and ponder that, and at the end of the show, I'll be sure to give you the answer. Now, I want to dig in today to an artist, but first I should visit the mailbag because some really exciting stuff came in. There's been a lot of comments on the Acoustic Tuesday show during the obviously during the episodes for suggestions on what to review, things they want to see, things that you guys want to see featured in the show, and I'm happy to say the Tonewood amp has been one of those things. I think every show somebody has said, hey, Tony, you got to check out the Tonewood amp. Tony, you got to check out the Tonewood amp. Well, I'm happy to say that there's a Tonewood amp in the house, and I'm excited to install it on a guitar. I'm still wondering which guitar to install it on. I'm thinking probably this Maple OM that I'm playing, but could possibly do it on my OM28 Marquee. I'm not sure yet, but I'm just happy this is here, and thanks to you, Acoustic Tuesday viewers, for suggesting it. I'm super pumped to install it and do an official review for you all. Also in the mailbag, I'm going to not take this out of the case, but Journey Instruments sent us a gaggle of guitars to check out. Some of their new full-size Traveler guitars and a new fold-up Traveler guitar that comes in a wheel bag. That's not even available yet, so I'm excited to do a review of those and show off all of those guitars to you guys. Now, Noah, Tony. I did mention earlier that I noticed your Rush mug, but as we continue to sit here, I've noticed that you have a T-shirt, a matching T-shirt. Was this a 2-for-1 special? What's happening?
Well, you know, I normally tend to be a little reserved, maybe a little shy when it comes to my own musical geekiness, but, you know, now that we've done the Acoustic Tuesday show for over a year now, I'm getting a little more into my geeky side.
You're really coming into your own, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so I figure, you know what, I'm just going to wear it loud and proud. And so what came in the mailbag for me was, yes, my classic Rush Starman mug, which is a, you know, it takes the album cover of 2112 and Hemispheres and kind of puts them together.
Oh, that's a double album cover?
Yeah, it's like a double thing.
Okay.
There's some deeper things there, but I don't want to, you know, take us too far down the rabbit trail.
Like,
but yes, but I also got the matching Starman Rush T-shirt, which I'm very proud to be wearing and sporting right now.
Do you have to be like a member of the fan club to get that? Is that like a special deal? Like, what's the?
No special.
You just find it
membership.
And order it up and.
Well, you want to make sure your merch is official, so I did order it from the Rush website store.
See, knowing you, I knew there was more thought behind it than just simply finding a shirt.
I'll take that as a compliment.
It is a compliment.
Yeah.
You're very thorough. That's all I meant.
Okay, thank you. Yeah,
well,
so
I'm glad.
excited.
No, I just have to say that the last couple episodes, you have been sporting some things from the mailbag. It's kind of cool to see you getting things.
Yeah, it is. What do you know? I order something for myself, and I get it in the mailbag.
I mean, hey, you can't beat that, right? It's a win-win.
What else did I get from the mailbag?
You got, we got a fidget cube from Tony S.
Right, yes.
Didn't you get something recently? Oh, the medicine ball.
Oh, yes.
You're getting so much stuff at this point, you're forgetting.
Wow, yes. I'm spoiled now.
You're spoiling yourself. All right, moving on. I want to share with you all who I'm listening to this week. And this week, the artist comes by recommendation from Acoustic Tuesday viewer John V. from Raleigh, North Carolina. And all he said was this about this artist in question.
Okay.
Reminds me of Noah. That's what he says.
Okay.
And between what this artist does and how this artist looks, I agree. I agree with John V. Now, it's not Freddie Mercury. Don't worry. It's not Freddie Mercury. The artist who I'm referring to is Scott Mulvahill. Now, if you have not heard Scott Mulvahill, don't worry. You will here in just a second. But he is doing something that I always thought was completely impossible, and that is sing and play bass at the same time. Now, I'm not talking like electric bass with frets. I'm talking stand-up bass, no frets, singing and playing, carrying the whole rhythmic groove, and singing at the same time. It seems impossible, and Noah reminded me that he can do it as well earlier, so he just wanted to throw that in there.
I can't believe you told him I said that. Come on.
No, I'm kidding. No, but actually Noah started looking up this Scott Mulvihill, And I was like, who is that? It's so catchy. There's this one song with this incredibly catchy bass line. That's not what we're going to listen to today. I want you to find that at acousticlife.tv. But we are going to listen to Scott's version of 2020 Vision. And I think you'll see what I mean by him being able to carry a tune, and just his vocals are incredible as well. I'm going to quit yapping and let Scott do all the singing here. 2020 Vision by Scott Mulvahill.
Been to the doctor, he said I'm alright, but I know he's lying, I'm losing my sight. You should have examined the eyes of my mind. 2020 vision, and I'm walking around blind. Since she left me, I feel so alone. I carry a heart that is heavy as stone. I knew she'd cheated, I knew all the time. 2020 vision, and I'm walking around blind.
Mind-blowing is one of the first words I would use to describe Scott's playing and singing. In fact, if you look at he just released an album in 2018, September of 2018, entitled Himalayas, which is him playing his tunes on the bass with some subtle instrumentation as well. But I think Esperanza Spalding, is that another bass player, singer type? I think she's one of the only other ones that I've seen do this.
Oh.
And
I don't know.
Yeah, I think her name is Esperanza Spalding. I'm not entirely sure on that, but I think what we're seeing here is a completely rare breed of musician. Now, Scott is no stranger to the acoustic music scene because he toured with Ricky Skaggs and Kentucky Thunder for about 5 years. In fact, there was a spot in time in the show where Scott would do that exact song, 2020 Vision. And that's what gave him the confidence to realize, like, hey, I can actually do this, according to the story I read on his website. Now, another cool thing about Scott is that he picked up playing bass as a teenager. And it's almost as if, like, the bass was floating around and Scott was floating around, and they just found each other. That's what I think. I think it's a match made in heaven. In fact, we were in the studio just last week, and Noah and I were listening to Scott's album, and Levi was here, and he's like, "This is like a cross between Amos Lee." Who else did he say? Do you remember? I can't remember.
I don't.
Shoot, it's killing me. But anyways, it's a soulful vibe. He's got a soulful voice and just a phenomenal player. So make sure to check out Scott Mulvahill. You can learn more about him at acousticlife.tv/AT65. There's a link to get his album, as well as a link to his website there, so you can check out and see if he's touring in a place near you. Now, I want to move on. We got to hear from our bearded friend Matt in St. Louis, but Noah, I know that there's some small wins on deck that you wish to celebrate.
Sure is.
Let's celebrate.
Let's do it. All right. Small wins for today. First one comes from Frederick W. Says, I had my heart and ear set on the limited edition Martin America 1, Addy top, sycamore back and sides, cherry neck, black walnut bridge and fretboard. I phoned Sweetwater Music. They were out. Oh. Sweetwater phoned the Martin Factory. They were out.
Oh, no.
So Martin made one for me.
All right.
It's the closest I will ever get to a custom-made Martin. After nearly 4 months, it arrived. Beautiful instrument, amazing sound, and the credit card company and I are happy I ordered this new guitar.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Next small win comes from Ralph P. Actually includes 2 small wins here. Small win number 1, I just received my copy of My First Guitar.
Oh, nice.
The book.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it. Small wins number 2, I've been playing guitar for a long time and had never really realized that many of the songs that were recorded in the 1950s and 60s featured Tommy Tedesco on guitar and the Wrecking Crew, which included Glenn Campbell, Leon Russell, and many other fabulous studio musicians.
Heck yeah.
They went on to say a little bit more, but I just wanted to include that nice piece right there.
I think there's a cool documentary out there about the Wrecking Crew.
You're probably right.
I have to get some actual facts before I continue. I was going to speculate on the title, but it's not going to happen.
I was going to say, you get on that and then feature it in a future episode.
Deal.
All right. Our next small win comes from Dean Supreme.
Ooh.
Says, small win, I've been climbing up the acoustic ladder, so to speak, since I've become familiar with your show. I have had a Washburn, Alvarez, Ibanez, Breedlove, all respectively, but then I got a Taylor 214E DLX, which I love.
Awesome.
But I still wanted something with a solid wood construction, and maybe a little more in the deep end when it comes to my bass notes. Well, I found someone with a J15 Gibson for a great price, and trust me, I have 4 children, 3 are teenagers, and I'm always broke. So I'm taking that to mean he found a great deal on a guitar.
That's awesome. Heck yeah. That's a lot of new guitar days.
Now, there's a couple more small wins, but they included them in some other comments and Guitar Geek wins that I want to share.
Okay.
So I'm going to hold off on those.
Perfect.
And I'll include them later.
That's awesome.
But that's it for now.
Can I share a small win?
Yes.
Or rather an update. Well, maybe we can call it a construction update.
There you go.
I feel like we need that, like, the backing up sound of, like, a construction truck. Beep, 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 construction update.
What you're saying is you want to update on your previous small win.
Yes. So last episode, I mentioned to you all that I'm getting a custom bourgeois made out by Dana Bourgeois and his team of talented luthiers in Lewiston, Maine. And I've been lucky enough, I just want a huge thanks to James over at Bourgeois, because he has been kind of, he's been keeping me in the loop. Let's just put it that way. He's been sending me pictures, and I know those guys are so busy and they don't always get a chance to do that. So it's really delightful to get these updates. Now, last week I shared a picture of the top of the guitar, and I had asked you all what you thought it was. And I'll just say, I'm just going to come out and say what it is. The top is a torrefied Italian spruce. In fact, I believe, to the best of my knowledge, it's one of the first batches of torrefied Italian spruce that they've done at Bourgeois. And according to James and everybody I've talked to, Matt included, it's the best thing since sliced bread. So I'm really pumped about that. But I wanted to clue you guys in because I got a picture of the back, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So, Noah, if you would please do the honors of sharing that backwood right there. Now, if you think you know what the backwood is, just by looks alone, please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And, of course, next week on Acoustic Tuesday, I'll reveal what the back is and maybe some more specs as well. But this has been an extremely fun process, from Matt and I's initial 2.5-hour discussion on the phone to getting these little updates. It's kind of like, I feel like it's like a guitar sonogram. Like I just went for the checkup. Everything's going fine. The heartbeat's good. Everything's good. Got a nice in-process picture there.
It's real pretty.
So I love the back. Matt actually picked that back out when he was there and had it just held.
For you?
Not for me.
Oh.
But Matt's like, you should check this out. I indeed checked it out. It's pretty awesome. All right, continuing on. Enough about my guitar.
Yes.
I just wanted to share. I'm a guitar geek, so I get excited about these things. I wanted to. Speaking of Matt, Matt he's back. He's back with another Ask Matt segment. This is an awesome question about bracing specifically, and he waxes poetic about the goods, the pros, the cons, the bads, the uglies. No, there's really no good, bad, or ugly. It's just a really interesting perspective on bracing material and how much of an impact that it has on the guitar. So without further ado, here's Matt from St. Louis.
Hello again, folks. Matt with Eddie's Guitars coming to you, as always, from St. Louis, Missouri. Very pleased to be back with you folks on another segment of Ask Matt here on Acoustic Tuesday. Thanks to Tony and Noah for having me back again. And I've got a great question that comes in from Terrence T. He asks, what is the difference between Sitka spruce and Adirondack spruce braces? Very good question, and I think sometimes almost a borderline dangerous question, because the differences, frankly, can be minor. However, it's kind of the potential of what's possible. between the two bracing materials that kind of interests me, to be honest with you. Sitka spruce you'll see in an awful lot of acoustic guitars. It's abundant. Sitka spruce trees, relatively speaking, grow very large, so there's a lot of Sitka material out there, whether it's for bracing material, top material. So it's abundant, it's available, it's relatively speaking inexpensive. Adirondack spruce is the other option. Many makers out there consider it to be an upgrade, a little bit extra charge to change those braces to Adirondack instead of Sitka spruce. It's a stiffer material that generally is also lighter in weight. What that equates to is usually a little bit more immediately responsive guitar, generally with a little bit more headroom involved there as well. So kind of a win-win, if you ask me, in a lot of cases. Before we get too far down that rabbit hole, I should mention, if you're looking for a very specific guitar, whether it's, middle of the road or very, very high end, don't get caught up on any one specification, especially if it's not like a dimension somewhere. Obviously, if the neck doesn't work for you, the nut width doesn't work for you, that's a different story. But I've played a lot of Sitka spruce brace guitars that have knocked my socks off. So don't think because it doesn't have the upgraded Adirondack, it's not any good. So certainly not the case. There's a lot of great Sitka brace guitars out there. There's actually a couple of companies, I can think of Bourgeois off the top of my head, as well as Huss and Dalton guitars. They brace their guitars exclusively with Adirondack spruce, period. That's the end of the conversation. They feel that the Adirondack spruce is a kind of a key element in the voicing and responsive nature of their guitars. Other companies like Collings, the standard is Sitka spruce. You can upgrade to Adirondack spruce for a little bit of an extra charge, which a lot of folks think is worth doing. I like to always sort of, give my disclaimer. It's kind of my job here to pay very close attention to specifications of guitars, especially being a guy that kind of presents the guitars as well as custom specs, many of them for our shop. So I pay close attention to that. But don't, disqualify a guitar if it doesn't have one of these certain specifications to it. If you don't have the opportunity to play the guitar first, if it's out of town or long distance, talk to somebody who's played it. Get some impressions about what it's doing, what it's not doing, what it's appropriate for. I do that here all day. So, one other thing I wanted to touch on that's a relatively more recent sort of addition or another option. There's a few companies out there, I think Bourgeois being the front runner, offering torrefied spruce braces. And more specifically, they use torrefied Adirondack spruce. And I didn't quite know what to think of that before a certain event happened. I guess it was last year. I was up in Maine visiting Bourgeois, and one of the gentlemen up there, James, handed me a non-torrefied, just regular Adirondack spruce brace, and then he handed me a torrefied one. And we're talking a little strip of wood here, not substantial blocks of wood. Even with those two lightweight pieces of wood, you could feel how much lighter the torrefied brace was compared to the non-torrefied brace. And that was kind of a light bulb moment for me, because I thought, this is going to be a more resonant material, a more immediately responsive material because it's lighter. A lot of those softer resins are cooked out of that wood when it's torrefied. Of course, you've seen a lot of torrefied tops on guitars by now from many different acoustic manufacturers out there, but the torrefied braces is a relatively kind of newer thing, and I think a very valuable thing to be aware of. Again, I think Bourgeois is kind of the front runner right now for the torrefied Adirondack braces, but it certainly is an important part of the guitar, both from a structural standpoint as well as from a voicing standpoint, because beyond the top, back, and side woods, those braces play a huge part in the voice of the guitar, how they're shaped, scalloped, voiced, and manufacturers are very aware of that, and will do a lot to give their guitars an edge over another. So I think the torrefied braces is a very valid thing to consider if the manufacturer you're looking at offers it. So again, Terrence, thanks so much for the question. If you have a question of your own, I would be delighted to address it in a upcoming episode with an Ask Matt segment in it. Until then, we'll see you folks next Tuesday.
All right, I want to thank Matt for getting geeky with us. And if you're sitting there thinking, hey, I got a question that I want to ask Matt, well, let's ask Matt. Go ahead in the comments below, put hashtag Ask Matt, and go ahead and put your question in there. And while you're at it, one of the things I want to mention is, we've talked about Eddie's guitars here on the show before. In fact, I featured them some episodes back. But my experience thus far in designing a custom guitar with Matt has been absolutely off the charts. Matt is incredibly knowledgeable and really, he is a wealth of knowledge. I can't say enough good things about my experience so far. So if you're thinking about ever getting a custom guitar made or you have questions about a custom guitar, please call Matt at Eddie's Guitars. Take a look at them on the web. I think it's eddiesguitars.com, or of course you can go find it at acousticlife.tv. There's plenty of entries there with Matt's information. And just my experience has been awesome. One of the most intimidating things, I think, is designing a custom guitar and not really knowing what to expect, kind of having an idea, but not really knowing, what, really just kind of that disconnect, But Matt makes that disconnect not feel like a disconnect. So kudos to Matt. Thanks for answering that question. And again, if you have a question for Matt, put hashtag Ask Matt in the comments. And of course, give him a call if you're considering a custom. He is a wealth of knowledge. And it always amazes me how non-pressuring Matt is. Have you ever noticed that? Like when he was here, Noah, he's just a relaxed dude.
Oh yeah,
he just loves to chat guitars. The first night of the Acoustic Life Festival, we went. I took Matt to his hotel afterwards, and there's a restaurant area in the hotel, and then we sat there for 3 hours after being up for probably 15 hours talking guitar all day. We talked guitar for another 3 hours. Yeah, just maximum thanks and kudos to Matt for being just an awesome guitar geek. Definitely a wealth of knowledge, as I mentioned before. And while you're at it, leaving questions for Matt and what have you, please let us know what you think of the show in the comments. And while you're at it, please subscribe to the Acoustic Live YouTube channel. Just hit that red subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that little gray bell. That'll give you a notification of each and every new video that goes out. And Noah, I know that you were combing through those comments. And you had pulled some that you want to share.
Sure was.
All right.
Well,
lay it on us, will you?
All right. Well, first shout out goes to Mark H., who I believe, based on his comment, is serving in Iraq. And so thank you, Mark, for serving.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And any other currently serving members and vets, thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
Mark H. says, Iraq kind of sucks, but AT makes it better.
I'm glad to hear that, man.
Mark T. says, so happy to discover your show, Tony. This is my first show, and I'm tuning in from Madrid.
Cool. Thanks for tuning in.
You guys are a lot of fun and very resourceful. Gives me something fun to look forward to. All the best.
Cheers. Thanks so much for watching.
All right. Turn my little paper around here. Next one, shout out goes to Cheryl L., who says, keep the crow skeleton on your desk. He looks so at home there.
He's just, I'll bring him back.
Yeah,
I'll bring him back.
Yeah. And next one comes from Legend M, who says, greetings from Nigeria.
All right.
And next shout out goes to Drew I, who says, Noah, Princess Bride, thank you. You're welcome. You're very welcome, Drew. Go ahead. What?
I was going to say I'm not as well versed at Princess Bride as you are.
That's okay.
And Levi have the edge on me in that department.
Well, not everyone is, Tony. Not everyone is.
I've seen it once. I've seen the movie one time at Whitney's encouragement. I was very happy that I sat down and watched it. I think it's a movie that everybody should watch. But I've only watched it once, so I don't know all the little Easter eggs.
It's okay. It's all right. It's good. What makes it great, if I can digress briefly, is that the gentleman who wrote it was a screenwriter before he wrote the book, The Princess Bride. So it was actually a book first.
Oh.
And as a screenwriter, the book that he wrote is essentially the script. So it's like nothing was added. It's like everything you get in the movie is exactly what he originally wrote in the book. All those classic lines, all the wit, everything. It's all there.
That's awesome.
All right, to continue, brings me to our last shout out for today. Goes to Jim K., who says, the best guitar is the one you can't keep your hands off.
I'll agree with that.
And that's from Jim.
That's like a quote. That's like a T-shirt quote.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That's
Yeah,
true.
that's pretty geeky.
Because if you got a guitar sitting in the corner and you can't do anything but just play it, that's a good guitar. Doesn't matter what's on the headstock.
Exactly. That's why I chose it.
Well, you know what? I think we're onto something here. I gotta be honest, Noah, I feel a little bit out of my element today.
Yeah.
I feel like strange.
Yeah. You know, it's like darker when we came in this morning.
I know, like the time change is kind of throwing me.
That's
I know
right.
we're supposed to have more sleep.
That's it. You nailed it. Here we are thinking about what it was, and it was the time change.
Gosh, this is like our fifth time trying to record the show. Mm-hmm. I just don't feel like I'm a smooth operator. Hey, do you know your Guitar Geek, Wentz?
I do.
Okay, I'm
Yes.
gonna hand it over to you because I can't even speak.
Sounds good. All right, so the first one comes from Travis N. Oh, now remember I said this was like a 2-for-1 because they included like a small win with their your Guitar Geek win.
Right.
So Travis says his small win was while browsing the digital catalog of the county library for any guitar items, I found that the library had access to online instruction videos from Brian Sutton. I've watched the first few segments and I'm looking forward to digging in over the weekend, which brings me to you're a guitar geek when you have a free Saturday, and instead of looking forward to binge watching Netflix like normal people, you look forward to binge watching online guitar instruction videos. And I couldn't agree with him more, because binge watching guitar instructional videos to me sounds like boring.
Dude, first of all, I know the Brian Sutton video he's probably referring to. I think it's called The Secrets of Successful Flat Picking. And it's a great video. We're talking young Brian Sutton here. This was probably filmed 20 years ago. Wow, that makes me feel kind of old. Maybe it wasn't 20 years ago. Maybe I'll say 15 to 10. That makes me feel better. Sorry,
is that it?
Go ahead. Yeah, that was it.
Okay. All right, next one is from Stephen B., who says, now this was a comment pulled from our Halloween episode. What was it called? I forget what somebody called it.
The Special-sode? The Night of the Living Special-sode?
There you go.
Return
Thank
of the
you.
Living Special-sode?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so Steven says, great episode. He says, I personally enjoyed hearing all the Halloween banter. My kids are now grown, in fact, all in their 30s. Lived in the same house for 36 years. A few years ago, had some kids come by with their parents, and as usual, enjoying the kids having fun. That's when one of the moms asked if I recognize her. She used to frequent my house every Halloween when she was a kid. I always give lots of goodies. So guys, the fun doesn't end. He says, thanks for the thumbs up on the Preston Thompson dreads. I'm sure this is what both Molly Tuttle and Presley Barker are now playing. Mm-hmm. And now, your Guitar Geek when you search for a particular guitar demo on YouTube and end up spending 4+ hours listening to different people play the same or similar guitar, like I did that last night listening to the long scale mid-30s Martin 00018. Okay, and that was it, just like he did it.
I'm laughing because Whitney was gone this last weekend. She was in Vegas with her brother and her sister, and I didn't go, regrettably so. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna get to bed early. I'm gonna have a great day. I'm gonna clean the house. I sat in bed, no joke. I probably watched guitar demos for 2.5 hours. And then I looked at the clock and I'm like, "What, Tony? What have you done with your life today?" And the answer is watch some really good guitars. That was it. That's all I got.
Well, you're a guitar geek. What are you gonna do?
I can't do that when Whitney's home.
Right. Yeah. So it's fine.
Not that she wouldn't let me, but it's just disruptive. When she's trying to sleep, I'm just sitting there watching guitar demos.
Yeah, and you wouldn't do that because
it's true.
Yeah, you're a considerate individual. All right,
Thanks, Noah.
You're welcome, Tony. It's just one of those days, man. I went to click back over to you, and I clicked on the one with both of us, and it's just whatever.
And it's gloomy out. It's just an all around dulling of the senses.
I got 2 more.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
You should quit yapping then.
So this next one comes from Derek. You're a guitar geek when you are buying a used guitar from someone online. However, you have to kill 2 hours before meeting them, so you stop into every music store on the way to their house just to browse, but you don't want to leave empty-handed. Therefore, you arrive home with the guitar and an assortment of string sets.
Nice. Good move. Way to kill time.
And our last one today comes from Vic G, who says, you know you're a guitar geek when you can't get yourself to throw away 4 years worth of acoustic guitar magazines, even though you've saved their digital versions and their own dedicated USB flash drive. Yeah, that's definitely geeky. Does that go beyond geeky?
No, it's so true because I've got, so in our kitchen at home, we got this cool gas stove, like fireplace, heat source, and there's a chair next to it, and next to it is a magazine rack. Now, this magazine rack is busting at the seams because it literally does. It's got every issue of Acoustic Guitar Magazine for the last probably 2 years in it. So just the other day, Whitney's like, this is before she left, she's like, are you going to do anything with these magazines? And I was like, what? What do you mean do anything with them? She's like, are you going to get rid of them? I'm like, why would I get rid of them? It's my little reading nook. It's my little guitar geek reading nook. Mm-hmm. I don't think she doesn't quite understand what they mean to me.
She doesn't.
She doesn't.
I can tell you she doesn't.
No.
And
she's not a guitar geek.
It's not a fault, right?
No.
It's not like character flaw.
No.
It's just, yeah.
She doesn't get it. Just get it. That's okay, though. I love her anyway. All right. Since we're having such a smooth flowing show, I want you to share this particular show with your friends to show them just how much fun we have on Acoustic Tuesday. Please, seriously, if you've got some Guitar Geek friends that have never watched the Acoustic Tuesday show, do them a favor and share with them your favorite episode. You can send them a link to acousticlife.tv, send them your favorite episode on YouTube. Just get them to watch the show because the whole notion behind Acoustic Tuesday is to unite as many Guitar Geeks as possible, and you are a crucial part of that. So please share the show with your Guitar Geek friends. And speaking of Guitar Geek friends, we've got 2 Guitarsenals on deck. One of them is from... Well, I can't say. I'll say when it gets there. But we've got 2 United States Guitarsenals, one from Alaska, one from Missouri. The first one comes from Ryan H. in Juneau, Alaska, and there's so many hidden gems in this Guitarsenal picture. We've got, I think he covered all the bases. He's got bourbon and scotch. He's got a dog, multiple T-shirts, and a gaggle of guitars. Mm-hmm. And it's just, you can't beat that, right?
It's like the back of the Highlights magazine.
Yeah. It is. You gotta find the random spaghetti noodle hidden in there.
Yeah.
The back, that reminds me of waiting for the dentist. Anyways, here's what's in Ryan's Guitarsenal. He says, here is my Guitarsenal from left to right with their names, and I'm gonna do my best on these names. First up, a PRS Standard 24 in satin finish named Scarlet. Next, a Breedlove Masterclass Bossa Nova nylon string with a red cedar top and East Indian rosewood back and sides. Now, here's where I'm going to take a stab at the name. I'm going to say a Brie du Montin, maybe. It could be French.
That was good.
Or Bryce du Matin. It's one of those. It's one of those 2. I'm sure there's no in between. Next up on the chair, a Breedlove Legacy Concert Limited with a Sitka spruce top, koa back and sides. And this one's named Nani Nobia Nene. I probably butchered that too, but here's for trying. Next up, an Islander ASARM T4 tenor ukulele named Pualani. Next, a Martin 0015M named Cecilia. Breedlove Pursuit 12-string named Layla. On the chair, a Breedlove Legacy Concert, a redwood top, East Indian rosewood back and sides named Melee. Next, a Breedlove KO USA Premier Mandolin. Now, I think this is French for autumn, but it could be another language for autumn. It could not even mean autumn. Les Automnes, maybe? I'm really trying to play it up like I know what I'm talking about.
That was good.
Next up, a J. Tercer Telecaster named Lily. And last, his first guitar, an Art and Lutherie Dreadnought named Trevor, the only boy in the group. He says, P.S. I love both bourbon and scotch. And then he puts in parentheses, and I was debating on whether or not to include this. He said, maybe scotch a little more. So I included my favorite bottles in my collection. Mm-hmm. Auchentoshan, is that right? Not Oshentashan?
Right, yeah.
Auchentoshan 3-wood, Knob Creek, and Highland Park 12. It says, you guys are great, and Acoustic Tuesday is something I look forward to every week. My dog Red also says hello. Now, next up is a Guitarsenal from Dave E. in Columbia, Missouri. Now, you'll come to find out that Dave E., we've actually featured something from Dave on Acoustic Tuesday before. Dave is one of the owners of Fretboard Coffee in Missouri. So pretty cool that Dave is a full-blown acoustic guitar geek. And he says this: "Hi, Tony and Noah. I'm a big fan of the show. I look forward to each new episode, and I've been binge-watching old ones to get caught up. My wife and I own Fretboard Coffee in Columbia, Missouri, and we are total guitar geeks. In fact, we were bandmates first and got together later. We've been playing music together as best friends for just about 19 years now. I mention this because this is a family guitarsenal. Julie isn't in the picture because she was taking it." So here we go. We got some great guitar geeky stories interspersed in between the descriptions here. So I'll do my best to motor through this. First up, bottom row left to right, an Austin 2015 Stratocaster copy. This is actually our son's guitar. My brother gave it to him when he was far too small to play it. Now at 5, he's starting to play it a bit. Perhaps in a few years we'll have some family jams. Next up, a Martin Backpacker from 2009. That was a gift from Julie to Dave. Next up, a Takamine EF341C. This was Julie's first real guitar that she bought and the guitar she played when we met. I fell in love with both of them. Next, a National Bass, an EB3 copy from the 1970s. Short scale neck with super loud mid-high range. Next, a Takamine F340S, commonly referred to as a lawsuit guitar because Martin sued Takamine over the blatant copying of their designs. See picture number 2 for a close-up of the copied Martin-style headstock. This is currently the house guitar at our shop, Fretboard Coffee, for anyone to pick up and play if the mood strikes. So if you're out there sitting there thinking, I want to try that guitar, just head over to Fretboard Coffee in Columbia, Missouri. You can try it. It's the house guitar. Next, a Hamer Chaparral 5 from 1996, a 5-string bass that I played through college and after until I got my Martin and Fender basses. Next, a Martin B1 from 2005. This was an anniversary gift from Julie and still one of my favorite basses of all time. This is my go-to instrument for most acoustic jams. Next, a Lanakai ukulele from 2012. A Koa uke brought back from Hawaii for us as a gift. Now we're moving to the top row. Left to right, an Ernie Ball Axis Super Sport from 2007. This has a super cool custom paint job and an unfinished bird's eye maple neck. It's the only electric guitar that has ever turned Julie's head. She's an acoustic player through and through. While we were visiting New York, I had our best friend and bandmate go back to the store and buy it for me. We kept it hidden for over 6 months until Christmas morning. The look on her face was absolutely priceless. A great guitar moment. A Taylor 814 CE from 2011. Sitka spruce top, Brazilian rosewood back and sides, ebony fingerboard, flame maple bindings, and a maple neck. This is Julie's main axe, affectionately named Irene, since she joined the family on the weekend of Hurricane Irene in 2011. We rode out the hurricane playing acoustic guitars with no power. Next up, a Gibson SG Special Limited Edition from 1999. The limited edition is because of its special cream color with all gold hardware and a slick as slate ebony fretboard. A friend was downsizing his collection and called Julie to explain that this poor guitar needed a home, like a lost puppy. Though I'm mostly an acoustic player, I adore this guitar. And last, a Fender Jaguar from 2011. This is his main bass, a favorite overall instrument. He was looking for a Fender Jazz Deluxe, and Julie suggested I try the Jag. It has the same pickups and neck as the Jazz, so it feels like a J bass to play, but all the extra switches and onboard preamp give it a world of flexibility of tone from a vintage thump to a bright and poppy or anything in between. Thanks for letting us share our guitarsenal with you and the viewers. We love what you do. Take care, Dave and Julie. Well, we love what you do, Dave and Julie, because your coffee is absolutely delicious. We've been enjoying it, so mutual appreciation. And thanks to both Ryan and Dave for sending in their guitarsenals. If you want your guitarsenal shared on a future episode of Acoustic Tuesday, it's super easy. First, get yourself a guitarsenal shirt. There's a link right beneath the YouTube episode. Second, put that guitarsenal shirt on and take a picture amongst all of your guitars. And third, submit that picture at acousticlife.tv. In the upper menu, you'll see a submit button. You can go ahead and click that and submit your picture there for future inclusion on an Acoustic Tuesday episode. Wow. You know, as I was reading that, Noah, I thought to myself, I'm reading this really smoothly. But then when I went to talk like regular, without reading something, it all just fell apart.
Yeah, that's okay.
Sorry about that. I've got one more item today.
I have a couple thoughts, if I may. The first one I had was when you were sharing Ryan's guitarsenal, and you were saying things so well. And I thought, well, you know, we got to hang out with Antoine Dufour at the Acoustic Life Festival this year. And so because we hung out with him for like one night, we're like fluent in French now.
Yeah, we were quizzing him on how to say things, essentially.
Yes. I also, now with with Dave's guitarsenal, which I just popped up there again, my first thought was, how close is he to Matt?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Columbia, Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri? Is that, I mean, I don't know how big Missouri is, really.
I don't know. But if we can get a picture of Matt in the Fretboard Coffee Shop.
That would be something stellar, huh?
That would be pretty cool. And then because Dave shared the bass and you shared Scott, I just feel like it's kind of a, like a more warm and fuzzy episode.
Things are starting to really come together.
Yeah.
From a rocky start, we're really salvaging this one.
This is actually our 10th attempt.
This is We're just completely worn out. Whatever happens now, we're just going to keep. Whatever. We don't care. No, I'm just kidding. We do care. I do have one more item to share with you all, and that is an acoustic guitar DI. Now, a lot of times the first question is, okay, what do I need a DI for in the first place? Well, a DI essentially allows your guitar, when you plug it in, to speak to the mixing board, which then puts the signal out through the speakers, and ta-da, your guitar is plugged in. Now, DIs come in many different shapes and forms, and you can go from as simple as just a box that literally is an impedance matcher to the board. I know that's big words, but it's a translator, we'll call that. Or you can get a DI that actually has some EQ and things on it. Well, this DI that I'm about to share with you today is one that I'm wondering why it took me so long to actually try it. Because it's probably, I think, one of the more versatile DIs on the market, if not one of the most versatile DIs. Now, I use the Fishman Aura all the time, okay? That's kind of been my mainstay. But it works in lots of situations okay. All right, it sounds pretty good. I enjoy it. I have enjoyed it. This DI is extremely dial-inable, which is an official term. And this is the LR Baggs Venue DI. Now, this DI is, I think they thought of everything here. Let me first say this. It has a 4-band EQ. You've got your bass, low mid, high mid, and treble. And along with just having control over the low and high mids, those are actually, you can tune the high and low mids. So if you're getting some gross rumble down below, you can actually tune to a lower low mid and get that out of your signal. Or same thing with the high mid. If you want a little bit of extra boost in kind of that 1K to 2.5K range, you can do that as well. It's got an easily controllable gain on the front, feedback notch filter, and I've used this at 5 gigs now. And this notch filter has saved my butt because I've actually been plugging my Martin HD35, which generally has some pretty high likelihood of feedback. I'm using that with a K&K pickup, and this notch filter has made it just a dream, including onboard phase switch, which also is a great way to extinguish feedback. If you're using 9-volt batteries, you can actually check the battery here. You've got a monitoring a meter right there, which is awesome. Overall volume. The back, you've got an XLR out, ground lift switch. You can control the boost. This has a foot switchable boost, so if you're flat picking, you can actually engage it, and it'll boost your volume, so your single notes will be heard over a band or another acoustic guitar player. And it has an onboard tuner, and I saved this to last because I got to be honest. I love the Fishman Aura. I think it's a swell unit. I have enjoyed it. I've used it for 3 or 4 years, maybe even more. But the tuner on it is just it's abysmal, and I'm not trying to slam it because again I've used it for so long. But the tuner is it's slow to read and it's not accurate on the Fishman Aura. On the Baggs Venue DI, this tuner is one of the best onboard tuners that I've seen in a DI. Now, I still use my Boss tuner because I'm just a creature of habit, but I will say that I'm pretty pleased with the tuner on board this particular unit. Most times with a DI with a tuner, it seems like they kind of throw a tuner on there because it should be on there, not because it's going to work necessarily good, but this one works very good. So I'm happy about this. Now I'm going to plug this in, or rather play through a little bit just so you can hear it. Now I'm using a Martin OM Custom here with maple back and sides, and I'm using a DiMarzio Black Angel pickup, just so you kind of know. But I've been using this with a variety of pickups, and it's really easy to dial in your sound. Let me do that lick with the boost on so you can kind of hear how much it boosts the actual signal. And it's just overall, having that power at your feet is incredible. Being able to boost it, having that much EQ is outstanding. Because a lot of times, whether you're playing, at a gig, right? You can't yell at the sound guy every song and be like, hey, can you tweak the low end? This gives you the power. Also, if you're using it at home, if you just want to boost your signal a little bit to just get that live feel at home, practice for an open mic or something like that, this is a great unit. Get used to using that boost. Overall, super versatile, so I want to thank LR Bags for sending that out for review, and also thank them for making just a damn good DI. It's rugged as hell. It's super sturdy, and the feet on it, it's kind of got this no-slip rubber grip, which is nice because it doesn't slide around when you're actually trying to use those foot switches. So overall, check that out. If you want to learn more about the LR Bags Venue DI, go to acousticlife.tv/AT65. There's actually going to be a link, a purchase link, if you choose to purchase this DI. And remember, any of those links that you use on acousticlife.tv, those are referral links from Amazon. We get a percentage of that sale, and we go ahead and pass that percentage directly on to Guitars for Vets as a donation on behalf of all of the guitar geeks that watch Acoustic Tuesday. So make sure to check that out, learn more about it, and if it sounds like something that could help your live playing rig or just something, your general guitar rig, please consider it, because I think it's something that you'll find extremely useful, as I did. So that pretty much puts this one in the can, Noah. What do you think? We made it, huh?
We made it. Yeah.
I'm stunned.
Breathe a sigh of relief.
Stunned. We made it. I want to thank you guys for watching today. But before I go, some Guitar Geek trivia. We gotta get an answer to this question. And just as a reminder, your Guitar Geek trivia question was this: percussive fingerstyle trailblazer Michael Hedges was born on New Year's Eve in 1953. In what state was Michael Hedges born? Was it A, North Dakota, B, California, C, Maryland, or D, Oklahoma? Let me first say this. All the answers are close, except for North Dakota. That's definitely out of the running. If you answered B, California, you're absolutely correct. But check this out, because those other 3 states play a huge role. So, Michael Hedges was born in Sacramento, California, again, New Year's Eve 1953, the son of Dr. Thane Alden Hedges and Ruth Evelyn Hedges Ibsen. Hedges' life in music began in Enid, Oklahoma, as he flirted with various instruments before focusing on flute and guitar. He eventually enrolled at Phillips University in Enid to study classical guitar and composition under E.J. Ulrich. Subsequently, Hedges studied as a composition major at Peabody Conservatory in Baltimore, Maryland, where he applied his classically trained musical background and in combination with various unusual techniques to the steel string guitar. So pretty cool. Pretty cool to learn about one of my acoustic guitar heroes, and if you haven't heard him yet, please check out Michael Hedges. All right, so that's it. Noah, we made it through episode 65.
Sure did.
I want to give major thanks to all of you out there watching, and let's take a sneak peek into next week and see what's on tap. Next week on Acoustic Tuesday, we're going to look at a very important gig, stomp around a bit. This is really shaping up. And you're going to learn the 3-step process to incorporating any guitar lick into your playing. Next week, that's going to be an extremely valuable lesson, because a lot of times we ask the question, cool, I got this guitar lick, but how do I add it to my playing? Well, I'm going to share with you the secret next week on Acoustic Tuesday. Again, I want to thank you so much for joining in today on today's Acoustic Tuesday episode. Don't forget you can catch Acoustic Tuesday every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time on YouTube. And of course, for your acoustic guitar fix in between, please go to acousticlife.tv. There are tons of discoveries awaiting to be made for guitar geeks, one and all. So from Noah, from myself, cheers to you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next Tuesday on Acoustic Tuesday. Cheers.